Welcome back to my Appalachian Spring 2026 road trip. The terrain here is unlike anywhere else. These aren't scenic roads through pristine forests, and they weren't designed for tourists. They're working roads. You're a guest here, and you share the two lanes with coal trucks and timber rigs and crisscrossing railroad tracks. And the weather and the heavy loads do take their toll on the roads. The pavement shows the wear. You kind of have to work for it here, and that makes it worth it. Day 13 started in Benham, Kentucky, deep in coal country and landscape that has its own texture. I knew I wanted to spend the night in Beckley, West Virginia, but I didn't have a detailed route planned for today. So I handed the routing over to Rever's Twisty road settings and let it figure it out. And it delivered. But one wrinkle. Roads merge, run together, then split. And the road number on the GPS doesn't quite match the sign on the road. And then there was Route 3418. 10 miles of beautiful, tight, technical fun. And then a quarter mile from an intersection, a road closed sign. Local traffic only, but completely unpaved. My only option was to turn around and ride the 10 miles back and find another way. But that's the way it goes sometimes. You accept it and you move on. At a lunch stop in Williamson, there was a couple, and the guy was wearing a motorcycle shirt. So I decided to ask him, if he had to get to Beckley and he had all afternoon to get there, what's the most scenic route he would take on a motorcycle? He suggested Route 52 to 97 to 121. So that's the way I went, and it was a great suggestion. On day 14, I started the morning in Beckley, West Virginia, with a quick run down Route 41, from Mount Hope to Prince in the new River Gorge National Park. It was a twisty run down to the Prince railway station, where a huge freight train was pulling in. And then a nice twisty run back up. It had rained the night before, and there were a couple of trees hanging in the power lines. So I stopped at the new River Gorge Visitor Center at the park to report it. I crossed the new River Gorge Bridge and took Route 60, west from Hawk's Nest to Gauley Bridge. It's called the Talon. My friend the Hoosier Cruiser says it's one of his favorite roads. And the last time I rode it was June of 2025. It was pouring rain. I wanted to give it another shot. This time, clear skies, perfect weather, no traffic. It really is a beautiful ride. At the end, I stopped at Cathedral Falls. I wasn't able to do this last time because of the rain, and it was worth every minute. And then it was on to Route 39, through Somersville, on a long, circuitous, and beautiful route to the Cranberry Mountain Nature Center. The guy working there suggested Route 150. It was right across the street, and it was called the Highland Scenic Highway. So I took his suggestion, and I appreciated it. There were only 4 or 5 cars coming the other way on the whole ride. No one ahead of me, and no one behind me, as far as I could see. I met up with 219, and I headed south into Marlinton. A nice, twisty descent. And I stopped at a gas station that I had stopped at last June. I got talking to some other riders and a couple folks who worked at the station, telling them the story of how I lost my paper map the last time I was through here. And that later, when I checked my video, I realized that I had left it on the very window ledge they were sitting on. I remember that, she said. We left it there in case someone came back for it. But it got wet, so we threw it out. I've been riding every day for the past 14 days, and I was tired. So I decided to just stay in Marlinton. I found the old Clark Inn, and I met 2 bicyclists as I was checking in, Andrew and Bryan. We walked down the street to a tavern for dinner and had a few drinks. It was a nice evening, and good to meet you both. Waking up on day 15, I knew this would be my last day of back roads, before hitting the highway and heading home. Now the direct route to Harrisonburg, Virginia is 97 miles, and should take about 2 hours and 13 minutes. But I packed in every twisty road I could find, and was able to turn that into 263 miles over 5.5 hours of riding. Perfect. West Virginia 28 North, morning sweepers, and a great start. I made a left on Cass Road, West Virginia 66, and a G1 road. Over the mountain, past Snowshoe Ski Resort. It was a beautiful climb and a beautiful descent. But recent rains had left loose gravel in several of the corners, demanding some vigilance. And then a section of 219 North, another G1 road. Long sweepers and some tight turns through the forest, opening up into grasslands, and a couple Harley riders were behind me. So at Valleyhead, I let them take the lead, onto West Virginia 15, towards Webster Springs. This is yet another G1 road. Long and steady, and just the right level of twisty that I could have ridden all day. I waved goodbye to my Harley friends in Webster Springs and continued on Route 20 North to Buckhannon. Yep, it's another G1 road. More forests and grasslands and smooth corners. A pure scenic cruise. And at Buckhannon, I turned right, onto US 33, through Elkins and Seneca Rocks. Just east of Seneca Rocks, 33 became my last G1 road of the day. That's 5 if you're counting. It winds through valleys and climbs through the George Washington and Jefferson National Forest to the Virginia-West Virginia border. I rode this section once before in November 2024 with my brother, and it was under construction. But it's finished now, with smooth, fresh pavement. And that descent was the last backroad moment of the trip. Harrisonburg for one night, and then home. In addition to all the beautiful riding, these 3 days brought closed roads, signs that didn't match what I saw on my GPS, a stranger who pointed me in the right direction, and a body that told me it was time to stop. And that's what these 3 days were all about. Settling in, taking what comes, and being open to what the road offers, even when what it offers is a 10-mile turnaround. Tomorrow it's the highway again. And since I'll be on Interstate 81 North, of course there's rain in the forecast. I'll keep you posted.